I'm John, this is Kat. We are Roaming Lost. We are from anywhere. We live full-time on the road. So I have a 22 Ram 3500, originally a long bed. The most unique feature for the vehicle, I would say, is the bed. It was made by Bowen Customs in Denver, Colorado. The bed is something that we can't live without. It's a substantial amount of storage, so all that stuff that you would think would go in the camper now goes on the outside and is out of the way. The inspiration came from about the 4 other builds and the decision to go full-time on the road.
I think both of us wanted to go. Kingston would often go for like week-long trips to do shoots, and I was left behind. And that really bummed me out. So this was kind of like a way for us to both experience traveling and be together more.
We bought the truck in November of 21. It took about 4 months or 5 months after that to get completed. It's not as easy as I expected. It is a big learning curve, even though I've traveled quite a bit. But living on the road is a whole different ballgame.
When we proposed to do this trip, my family was like, what? Because I'm not an outdoorsy person. There was even some family that thought I wouldn't make it 3 months. Legit, I found that out later. I was like, cool.
So the front of the truck is pretty unique. The thing that stands out the most is the bumper. It's a one-of-one descent off-road bumper. It's a prototype that they did for me. It houses a winch by Warren, Factor 55 lead, and an ultra hook. The rigid lights are all rigid XPs, and then we have rigid fog lights, and the Alpha Rex headlights are a huge upgrade versus the halogens that come with the truck. And then we added an AEV snorkel recently, and that's basically the only engine upgrade that we have. And then on top of the roof, we have a front runner rack with 2 mountain bikes, and those are attached by a fork mount by Freedom Coast. I use rubber straps to tie it down to the rear tire. So for the suspension, we did a Carly pin top system. That has been absolutely amazing. It drives like a Cadillac. The rear does have custom Deaver springs for the payload, which is about 4,000 pounds that they're rated at, constant load. And then we have the Raceline wheels that are a high payload, about 3,300 pounds per wheel. And the tires are Firestone mud terrains. And we also did, with the Carly suspension, we did high and low stabilizers as well. So inside the cab, it's pretty basic up front. So this is the lowest trim model of the Ram, but we have the ICS dash system, so you can connect. We use an iPad mini for our navigation and whatnot. So, and then we also have a Midland radio, which is pretty standard for most people traveling. And I use this magnetic mic, which has been awesome. And then we have like a little inverter in here to basically charge laptops when we're driving and stuff like that. We have a Fieldcraft survival little holder of things, knives and pens, and a flashlight. We have a full goose gear seat delete and with 10-inch drawers. So the drawers on both sides house camera gear. The Scout camper came with this Goal Zero, so we just repurposed it to be an in-cab power supply, and that powers the National Luna fridge. We also have charging for all the camera batteries that I have, and then Milwaukee batteries for the tools. We have our solar and our water. We use the Dometic Go system, so we can just swap out waters while we're inside the camper. It holds 2 of these jugs, so we can hot swap them. The company that made this bed is Bowen Customs. They're based out of Denver, and they basically made the bed to fit the camper. So they do this with other configurations too, 4-wheel camper, etc. And so you can still have a truck bed when you don't want the camper in, which is a bonus. The camper is 8 feet, and that's the bed that we had, 8-foot bed. But we actually extended another foot because of this canopy, and so the canopy allows us to store Max Tracks, this Starlink case, like so much more a lot of bigger stuff. So the spare tire goes in there, and we're able to carry that fifth spare. That's super useful because being on the road, you definitely need a spare, and it doesn't fit underneath the truck, so there's literally only one place to put it, so that it goes there. We're able to store just so much stuff, and if it's dirty, it stays dirty and it stays somewhere beyond inside the camper where it can make other things dirty. So the other cabinets store all of our water filters and hoses and stuff that you don't want to get wet. So on the back here we have a rear winch, another Warren winch, same setup as the front, custom mounted by Bowen Customs as well. And then we have an air system where each wheel well has a air connection, so you can actually use air tools or air up other tires like the dirt bike and stuff. And we usually travel with the dirt bike, so we have a hitch carrier by Rack and Ride, and we're able to get in and out of the camper even with the dirt bike on. So when we're at a place for an extended period of time, we just throw the stairs out, and it's easy to get in and out and have the hitch carrier just to the side. And then these stairs also store in that front canopy. So the chainsaw is always a popular thing that when people see it. It's just a chainsaw scabbard that was actually trimmed and fit to this size. It's a 16-inch still. And the bed is actually acting as the mount, so we just drilled a couple holes, added some rib nuts, mounted it, and now we have a chainsaw mount. So the front of the truck has your usual dash cam, exterior, in cab, but we also have this third camera. It's made by Blackview, so it allows for those 3 channels to be recorded at all times. And it allows me to actually access this camera via your phone, even when we're parked or whatever, and so kind of acts as like one of the peepholes without the peephole because we don't have it. That's one of the security measures that we took, and then this is just our rear backup camera. We're inside the camper. We have a lot of custom things that we did. So we did a magnetic wall. The magnets on the shelves have stayed really well. And then we have the Dometic system that has the faucet. We have a custom shelf made. This is made out of steel as well, thin gauge, and so we can use the magnets that are on the wall for the shelf. And then we have the National Luna fridge. This is a 90 liter, which is huge. We have a custom mattress made for this thing. It's actually super comfortable. So underneath where the Gold Zero used to be, this is the Red Arc Red Vision system. And so this actually has 300 amp hours of lithium behind the wall, and then the distribution box and Manager 30. This side that's attached to the Red Arc system is 120 and 12 volt. The 120 is always connected to our Starlink. We have 120 here, we have 120 near the kitchen, and then 12 volt for charging phones and whatnot. Camper came with this Newport by Dickinson. It's a propane heater. It works fairly well, but we are gonna add a diesel heater so it gives us more dry air. The table is made by Boulder Overlander. It has these little tabs that come out. Obviously you can use it as is, but when we were working, we can't both use this, so we had this table made that folds out and doubles in size, and you can kind of, with the Lagoon table, you can kind of spin it around and have more people at the table if needed, and it gives us both like full workspaces, which is super useful when you're in the rain or stuck inside. And this also acts as a as a table and desk as well. So we have lots of surface, which was nice for how small the space it is.
So the biggest thing that has been a surprise is how much I love it. It's been awesome, and I feel like it's really bonded us together in like a whole other level. So yeah, I just didn't realize how much I love it.